Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today we're going to step through one of the recent updates to our Process Expert here at Ryan Industrial. This is our homepage, and you can see the Process Expert featured right here in the middle. If you're less familiar with what that is, Process Expert is our AI tool where you can upload static documentation for it to reference. It'll process that information and it'll become an expert on it, and you can interact with it as needed to troubleshoot issues. The new thing that it also does, which we'll be covering today, is that it can help train your staff. It can create curriculums, and of course, it'll have the answers needed to help that individual answer questions along the way, interacting with them as if it were a seasoned employee. If you've seen some of our videos, you've probably become familiar with something like this, where we've used a QR code to access the Process Expert. When you scan it, you'll have a chat box pulled up and you can describe the issue that you're having with that particular piece of equipment. And from there, it'll provide some troubleshooting steps to resolve the problem. For this demonstration, though, we're choosing something a little complicated. This is a fluid bed dryer. It shakes around agriculture seed, it dries them out, and preps them for bagging and distribution. So you'll see here that QR code that I mentioned earlier. Every one of these assistants comes with a QR code that you can put locally onto the unit for super easy access. We've uploaded some files into the backend for this fluid bed dryer already. We've got 5 different operations manuals here that cover this fluid bed dryer and how it operates. Throughout the setup process, you'll have a lot of opportunities to really paint a picture for the AI, giving it some context for what it's looking at, what the process is, and from there, the AI will interpret how that process works alongside all the technical data found in the documentation that you've uploaded. The final step is tuning the AI. You can have it be creative, which will have it talk with the user in a more casual, friendly way, or you can have it be precise and to the point. You'll also want to give it some context on the experience level of the person that it'll be working with the most, from a day to day operator to a technical expert or a manufacturer. And from here, we're going to start a new chat regarding this fluid bed dryer, talking with the different companies across manufacturing, industrial applications, oil and gas. All of those industries are pretty high turnover, and one of the main expenses with these companies is training new staff. You'll get a senior employee tied up training a new hire on the process and procedures, and it's just a revolving door. It's happening constantly. So what this tool does is that it allows a person to create a curriculum for a new hire to follow, and then additionally, it has all the resources on the back end for that new hire to interact with and for the process expert to kind of reference and answer questions, clarify steps for any procedures, that type of thing. So, first thing we're going to ask it, can you create me a 1-week training curriculum for this fluid bed dryer? It's going to take some time to think, and then it'll start generating the day-to-day objectives for this new hire, giving you different subjects and content to explore. This is going to serve as our outline for the training procedure. From this point, you're going to need to interact with the process expert a little bit and clarify if there's anything in particular that you want it to cover or go more in depth on. We're going to do a quick cut here while we do that on our end, and then we'll be back to cover it all once we're ready to move on, so you don't need to watch this happen all step by step. And we are back. So, our start, can you make me a 1-week training program? It did great with. It gave us an itinerary for day 1 through 7 in the morning and the afternoon. But from here, we want a little bit of elaboration. We asked it for specifics for each day, and sure enough, it goes on to give us a more in-depth breakdown of what should be covered each day. We then turn the AI back in on itself, right? So all of the things in the training, we want it to expand on those items, give us an introduction to the fluid bed dryer so employees understand its purpose and function, explain the components, and after that, we want some basic information to navigate the HMI and the PLC. It did a great job doing exactly what we asked for here, and you can do this for each day. It'll break everything down so you can have it all organized in chronological order as it suggests. And we wanted it to do the same thing for day 2. Sure enough, did that here. A little more technical equipment is being used here, so you'll see it's giving processes and steps through the training process for this. We've asked for some clarification for anyone unfamiliar with the normal drawing parameters, and it gave us an edited itinerary that covers that a little bit more in depth. And new technicians are really going to need to know what's going on when an alarm fires, right? So we've asked the process expert to cover that as well. It went ahead and combed through all of that technical data, and it's giving someone who might be newer in the role some things to look out for in the event that those alarms do happen, and it provides some potential resolution steps. Of course, This all covers just one piece of equipment, but the great thing about Process Expert is as long as you've got the right manuals uploaded and you've given it a little bit of guidance, you'll be able to generate curriculums tailored to your industry without any real hassle. It's important to manually review all of this before handing it off to a new hire, but we found that Process Expert has really cut down on the time that it takes to get a good onboarding system off the ground. So if you have any questions, you'd like to take a closer look at Process Expert, you can find some links in the description below to get in touch. We would love to help get a Process Expert on your team, and that'll make your day-to-day operations quite a bit smoother. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.